We're just going to go for it. Time is money. Most of you are leaving yours on the table. Let's talk about music publishing. You need to understand, okay? When your song stops trending, that doesn't mean your money does. Artists rise to fame, then fall into poverty. Time and time again. Here's the thing about music publishing. It's the heartbeat of the industry, okay? So without that, nothing. It's how you get paid after the applause stops, after the streams slow down. But the industry has thrived for decades by keeping artists in the dark when it comes to how this works. Why? Because ignorance is profitable. See, today, we're ending that. The 2 copyrights. Know your assets. Every song you create has 2 copyrights. So you have the composition copyright. This covers melody, the written lyrics, the blueprint, structure of your song. Think about it like a recipe. Smell it like a recipe. Sound recording, see, that's the actual sound that comes from the composition. So when you open your mouth to say something, that becomes a sound recording when you put it in the tangible medium. So meaning that when you record it on a tape recorder, or when you record it in the studio on the computer, it becomes a sound recording. That becomes a sound recording from the composition. So your blueprint is the writing down, the sound recording is the sound of it. This is the actual recorded version, the finished pizza, and you get paid for both the composition, what you wrote down, and the sound recording when it's recorded. We'll get more into this. So here's the kicker. Owning your master recording isn't enough. The composition copyright, that's for publishing the master. It's where the money is. If you're not protecting both, you're playing yourself, okay? Every stream, every single sync deal, every cover of your song, that all ties back to publishing. Crazy, right? But true. Your song is an asset. I'll say it again. Your song is an asset. A digital house holding data. Think about it like that, because it's intellectual property categorized by law. If you're a rapper or a singer, you're categorized as an author. Your song is intellectual property. It's an asset. So think about a digital house. Now, almost like a blockchain. We'll get more into that. This digital house holds data, like houses hold people. That's like your song. Think of your song as a house, a structure that holds value, purpose, and stays in the physical world. Households of people. So in the digital world, your song holds data. So instead of people, it holds data. Just like a house needs a deed to prove ownership, your song needs proper registration and metadata to show that it belongs to you. Now imagine you've built this incredible digital house, a song you've poured into your heart, into the music. You've never really bothered to file the deed on this great heartfelt song you created. Someone else could move in, collect the rent, and profit off your hard work. This is what happens when you don't register your copyrights or ensure your metadata is accurate. It happens all the time. Writer splits. Metadata is extremely important. 100% of the time, writer splits. That's what allows the music industry to recognize you as the rightful owner of the song and who contributed to what part of the song. Without it, your house is empty and your income is lost. And let me tell you, there's always someone ready to swoop in and claim what you didn't protect. In this industry especially. That's a given. Performance royalties. Your song is always on stage. Now, when people say performance royalties, I realize nobody really breaks that down. Nobody tells you you don't have to perform to get performance royalties, like live now, right now. You don't have to pick up something and start playing it to get performance royalties. Okay? You don't, before you go run down to the Grammys and try to sing, you may not need to do that. So basically, when your song is performed publicly, you get paid. And by perform, that means you don't have to be standing on stage. That means your song could be playing on the radio. That's a performance. Streaming on Spotify, that's a performance. Blasting in the club, that's a performance. Or even playing in the background at a coffee shop, that's a public performance. You get paid for that. Some people may think like, oh, I'm not on TV yet, or I haven't been played on the radio before. You don't have to be. Just register. So here's a catch. To collect these royalties, there's so many alphabet boys, but these alphabet boys, they pay the bills ethically, hopefully. Register with a pro. Performance Rights Organization, right? Okay. In the US, that's ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC, and they have a new one. It's called GMR. That's brand new, but they seem to be mentioned a lot among these ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC. I guess because their platform emphasizes the ability to download an app and register your songs and streamline it easier through their digital platform. So ASCAP and BMI are a little bit older and may not be as interoperable with their technology, meaning they may not have technology that is efficient as GMR. So who knows? But the thing is, GMR is brand new, so they don't have as much reach as ASCAP and BMI does. So that's probably a good move to stick with ASCAP or BMI. Keep your eye on GMR in case you're interested. But what's even more promising is the decentralization of music. Meaning, if you're familiar with blockchain technology, and if you're not, it's okay. But it's not okay. If you're not, it's okay, but it's not okay. Because artists are so far behind on catching up with the money that they're discovering that the first time that they have, that the whole industry needing to be changed and taken away from the current power structure and decentralized and focus more on the direct to fan relationship for artists. That's like a lot to probably think about at the moment. But the point is, we have a technology now that, when I say we, pretty much the world, anybody using cryptocurrency, there's an underlying technology that allows the cryptocurrency to be sent back and forth, and that's called the blockchain. But it's not only for cryptocurrency, it's for digital assets in general, and it happens to be the most secure transfer system of digital assets at this time. And it's really efficient, and it provides an outlet to circumvent the labels, to circumvent distributors, and go straight to consumer. Just think about it. When you get your music played on Spotify for like 1 million people to listen to, you don't have that information. You don't have the email. You don't have the data. You don't have the name of the person, nothing. So with going straight to consumer, you're operating more like a business, just however you want to do it. You don't necessarily have to go through Spotify. You don't have to go through DistroKid for distributing your music. You don't have to do any of that. None of that has to apply. We're artists, and we have to start thinking like entrepreneurs, because it's the only way to stand out and to keep current among the times we are producing most of our own music. We are making most of our own content, and we don't feel like it. So we're doing a lot of things now, and we're really busy. So understanding, we starting to become open to the point, going directly to your fans, that can benefit you. The thing is, most people just don't feel like it because they're busy. And being an artist, you're busy. Everything yourself, I mean, you're busy. You're editing your own videos, you're recording your own vocals, sometimes you're making your own beats, sometimes you're doing this stupid content stuff that you're trying to pretend you like. You're busy. So I get it. The industry is really complicated for a reason. Again, they profit off your ignorance. Performance royalties. So now let's talk mechanical royalties. Think of vinyl, records, CDs or downloads, and yes, those count. But here's what most people don't realize. Every single stream of your song is considered a digital reproduction. That's a mechanical royalty. So when you get a Spotify stream, that one Spotify stream pays out a maximum of 3 separate royalties. So if you ever got money from your DistroKid, your CD Baby, your TuneCore, anything, you have money somewhere else guaranteed. You just haven't gotten it yet. And you don't know how much that money is, but something is there. Let's see. Platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, they pay out billions in mechanical royalties every year. I was just reading UMG, Universal Music Group's investor report. Ugly. It's so ugly how much money they're getting. They made like 10 billion last year. It's ridiculous. According to their investor report, streaming is going up tremendously. I have the statistics, but streaming is going up. We pretty much all know that because we can look around and see everybody streaming everything. But looking at those numbers in their investor report, I'm like, wow, that's just proof. Economically, you can measure it. Now, here's the thing. Labels like UMG don't want to pay artists the money that they know they should get, even though strategic foresight, cleaning up the music industry as if there's just no way they can not do it. They know the money's there and they have so many ways to twist it out of the artist's pockets without them even knowing. Because let me tell you something. When you don't collect your royalties, you independent artists, that money goes to other artists that you don't like. You may not like paying for Drake's son's birthday party next year because you didn't collect your royalties. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Let's talk numbers. So first off, Universal Music Group, one of the biggest players in the music game, reported a 90% year-over-year increase in revenue for quarter 4, 2023, reaching millions. Streaming revenue alone grew by 5.6% in constant currency. That's a lot. That's a lot of money circulating in the industry. That's just them. Here's another kicker. The Mechanical Licensing Collective, MLC, has over $424 million in unclaimed royalties. I think they distributed some of that money now, but that's a lot of money just to be sitting on. This was made from a bunch of hardworking artists that just didn't stick around long enough to get it. Unclaimed royalties because artists haven't registered their works properly. Metadata is a big problem. Think about going to work and picking up a check, but your name is not on it, or your name is misspelled and you can't cash it. That's like your song with incorrect or missing metadata. You can't get paid because nobody can find you. It's like that check. You can't cash it. You got to make sure the metadata is right. You got to make sure your name is right. You got to make sure the title is right of the song. You got to make sure you have your features on the song and with split sheets, so that when artists collab with you in the studio, and here's the thing, when you do a collab and you're very serious about your music and you're like, I want to make sure everybody is credited on this song properly, happening a lot. Somebody sells the song and somebody else is featuring on the song, but they didn't have any intention to do that, but it's too late now because do a split sheet. Those split sheets are important because you have a song, dropping it happens to blow up, and now you get into an argument or a fight with the person you made the song with because they're taking a bigger cut, or they knew a little bit more about the industry and publishing than you did, and they just started collecting their royalties and you had no idea about it. It gets kind of crazy. But if you're making music professionally, doing a split sheet, that's all that is like MyMusicPublisher.com. You can go on there. You can take care of all this stuff I'm telling you. We can take care of all of it for you. This is just important for you to hear, to know what you're missing out on. Artists don't typically like to do administrative work. You have two different kinds of publishers. So you have publishers that do music and like TV shows and sync. And then you have administrators who are just collecting the money that you're not getting because you don't know how to do it.